Match found.
I am both shield and sword.
Să știi că nu te aud, că nu merg căștile.
My money, that is why I'm in jail. I have money that they were trying to steal.
Nothing wrong. They know we've done nothing wrong. The
Andrew,
case file is completely
is the
empty.
Matrix affecting you?
Andrew, what happened in prison?
The case file is completely empty. Of course it's unjust. There's no justice in Romania, unfortunately.
Did you hurt any girl?
Of course not.
Auziți?
Hello.
Vezi că intrăm la fix. Da. Ok. Probă 2 Dar merg mai obi.
Hey, the gang's all here. This is great. They don't stand a chance.
Mr. Tate, why did the police search your car? Mașina. Are you involved in drug
Este adevărat că ai violat cele două fete? Ce-au găsit anchetații?
Reloading spike planted.
Cutting through.
Bring them down.
Satisfying. Last player standing.
Stage 1 to 3 stages. They attack you, your character, and cancel you. They put you in jail for something you did not do. And the last is they kill you. And I'll make it very clear here, I would never kill myself under any circumstances ever.
The Matrix has attacked me.
This is a video clip taken on the 31st of December 2022 featuring Andrew Emery Tate being escorted into a police van whilst handcuffed. So you're probably asking yourself why he's in this situation, but the truth isn't something you would expect. Hi, I'm the Internet Analyst. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be holding an investigation on Andrew Tate's arrest and what this could mean for the future of the Tate brothers, a case that the entire internet seems to be divided on. Andrew's troubles with the justice system would begin in 2015, when a woman who previously lived and worked in his home would file a complaint against him. These weren't just any ordinary complaints that you'd get a slap on the wrist for. These were allegations of Andrew being physically violent towards her. And within a couple of weeks, Andrew would find his door being knocked down by the police, who would then take him in for questioning.
She went to the police
Oh shit.
and told the police I hit her.
when I didn't. Whoa. So it's 5 in the morning, and this is about 4 months later. 5 in the morning, 4 months later, I'm laying in bed. Girl here, chilling, living the life. And I heard the door, boom, 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 boom. And I don't know how I knew. I just knew it was police. The way they knocked that door, I was like, if you were gonna rob me, you kick the door in, or you this is just too obvious. And as soon as I heard that noise, I just paused for a second. I heard police, and I was like,
Throughout the raid, most of Andrew's electronics would be seized and searched, but after a 4-year investigation, the case would find itself being closed, deeming Andrew Tate innocent based on the lack of evidence. The incident left Andrew with a lasting resentment towards the legal system in the UK, and it was so difficult for him that he would decide to move to Romania in order to avoid similar situations in the future. And although Andrew thought he had put his troubled past behind him, fate had other plans when Romanian authorities would raid his home in April of 2022. The reason for this raid was that he was suspected for holding 2 women hostage, one of which was allegedly a US citizen. Andrew once again found himself in a rather difficult situation, but determined to prove his innocence just as he had before, Andrew and his brother Tristan would deny all the allegations and label the entire incident as an act of, quote, swatting. Swatting is when someone makes a fake emergency call pretending that there's a dangerous situation, all in an attempt to get the police or SWAT team to go to the other person's house, and at the time, the Tate brothers would actually be arrested by the Romanian police. But in similar events to the first time this happened, they would later be released from police custody. However, once again, would have their electronics and other items confiscated as it would be needed for future investigations. It was also around this time that Andrew began gaining popularity on the internet, and when news corporations and Twitter users began calling Andrew a violent misogynist that beats and traffics women. And with his previous arrests and meme-worthy quotes, can you really blame someone who would believe these accusations to be true? One of the messages Andrew would spread was the theory that he would be censored and banned from social media for promoting a narrative and ideology that encourages males to stop being lazy and incels, which was the opposite to what he describes the Matrix agenda as, which he describes as encouraging laziness and femininity in men. This would lead up to October of 2022, when Andrew's predictions would come into fruition, as he'd be strategically banned across not only all mainstream social media platforms, but even big tech apps such as Uber and several banking apps. The mass censorship of Andrew Tate actually caused society to pay more attention to him, and free speech YouTube alternative Rumble would recognize his banning as an opportunity, and would go on to approach Andrew with a $100 million contract. This was great news for Andrew, since the only other platform he had access to was live television, where the hosts would openly antagonize him. The good news for Andrew wouldn't stop there. Following Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter, many popular accounts that were banned for various reasons would be reinstated, including Andrew's profile at Cobra Tate. With both his new Rumble account, which has around 300,000 subscribers, and his recovered Twitter account, Andrew would be back on his way to making a comeback on social media. However, getting his Twitter account back wouldn't be completely beneficial for him. On the 27th of December 2022, Andrew would finish the year by getting himself into an online controversy that would hold unimaginable consequences. In a tweet targeting climate activist and meme Greta Thunberg, Andrew flexes his exotic car collection and attempt to trigger her with the amount of pollution he exhausts. Although Greta Thunberg is already a meme and an easy target to ratio, the internet looked down upon a grown man publicly trying to annoy a teenager. And what would make things worse for Andrew is that Greta would actually snap back with a deadly tweet that would gain almost 4 million likes. Refusing to take the L, Andrew would create a response to the tweet in a laughable video that would ultimately lead up to his arrest. So you're probably asking yourself how a simple video on Twitter could lead to him being arrested. And the answer for that lies in the fact that the investigators were closely monitoring Andrew's social media posts, and would notice that the branding on the pizza boxes were from a company named Jersey Pizza, which is a Romanian-based pizza business. This small but critical piece of information would alert the police of Andrew's presence in Romania. Armed with this knowledge, Romanian law enforcement would implement search warrants and mobilize officers who would go on to raid Tate's residence, where Andrew and his brother Tristan would be immediately taken into police custody, spawning this viral video.
Why do you say the words? Are the accusation real? Câte fete aveți la prostituție? Ce ați făcut cu banii? V-ați mașini de lux? Le-ați mai să se prostitueze? Nu mai doriți să se prostitueze pentru dumneavoastră.
In a press release made by the Directorate of the Investigation of Organised Crime and Terrorism, the charges brought against Andrew would be revealed to the public. The document starts by outlining suspicions of Andrew, his brother, and 2 other individuals constituting a crime group involving trafficking. Dicot stated the methods used by the group involved recruiting girls by, quote, misrepresenting their intention to enter a marriage/cohabitation relationship, and the existence of genuine feelings of love. According to law enforcement, the victims would be transported, housed, and forced to perform adult demonstrations for the purpose of producing and disseminating through social media platforms. They would go on to state that 6 victims had been identified. The second group of charges stated in the press release were in relation to the crime of the 4-letter R word, where it was stated that, quote, an injured person was forced on 2 different occasions by a suspect through the exercise of physical violence and psychological pressure to have redacted. On the 5th of January 2023, Vice would release an interview with one of the girls that made a police report back in 2015, which he claimed that Andrew S.'d her as well as other girls in his residence. Throughout the interview, she would go into detail about how she met Andrew, her working conditions, and the events she would go on to witness in his home. In the wake of these allegations and Andrew's arrest, the reactions from the internet ranged anywhere from complete disbelief and outrage all the way to joy and approval. But it seemed like Andrew's supporters weren't so quick to jump the gun, and that was mainly due to the fact that Andrew had seemingly predicted that this would happen months prior when describing the 3-strike system of the Matrix.
And who is they? Well, that's a good question. Even if I knew all their names, I wouldn't say it here. But why wouldn't you say it here? I wouldn't say it here because they've already given me quite a few warnings. And I'm now at the point where I actually truly believe they're going to try and kill me.
So you've had messages from people trying to control you who you think would kill you?
I understand that you get 3 strikes in this game. Strike 1 is they try and shut you up and discredit you, which I've just been through. Strike 2 is they try and put you in jail for no reason. And strike 3 is they kill you. And one of my strikes is now gone, and I now firmly believe that they're going to try and kill me because they want me to be quiet and I'm not being quiet. And I have huge amounts of influence, which is what this is.
Whilst many users on the internet will confidently label and describe Andrew as a, quote, trafficker, it is worth noting that he doesn't have any prior criminal record as of making this video. Several celebrities, commentary channels, and close friends of Andrew, such as his girlfriend, would take to social media to state their stance on the situation. The innocent until proven guilty perspective would be widely expressed across the internet, and especially by those who knew him closely, such as Aiden Ross and Valuetainment, whom have both featured Andrew on several of their streams.
I don't know exactly the details of Tate's arrest, but here's what I do know. A day after he publicly calls out one of woke's heroes, Greta Thunberg, they raid his place? Strange timing. Meanwhile, we haven't seen anyone from Epstein's list arrested. Weird. Strange.
All right, Chad, look, I just woke up to some crazy catastrophic news about Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. They just got raided and arrested in Romania. Listen, it's over some sexual trafficking. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's going on. All I know is there's some Twitter feed with someone named Greta, something like that, Greedy. And something happened where she basically said something like email me or something like that. And she texted her email and then boom, the whole Twitter went crazy. You got like 3 million likes on it or something like that. I just hope it isn't true.
You called one. One enemy remaining.
I love you.
It was evident that this sentiment wasn't just shared by Andrew's friends, with a tweet stating, "People hate Andrew Tate so much that they would rather women were actually trafficked and abused rather than see him walk free and innocent." Anyone else noticing this? Andrew seems to be genuinely worried for himself for the first time since he's been in the spotlight.
So like, what are your plans now, or like, what do you feel about what's happened to you, and what's your moves? Or I mean, I don't expect you to reveal them, but what's your plans?
Yeah, so the Matrix attacked me.
Yeah.
They tried to remove me from social media.
They've used their bullets.
They used their bullets. I'm still all over social media, so they failed.
They failed.
What's scary about it, the only thing I will say I don't like about being banned is that you get 3 lives when you attack powerful people. They first ban you and try and shut you up. Secondly, they'll put you in jail for something you didn't do. And thirdly, they'll kill you. So I've used my first life, which is kind of upsetting. And you know that next is going to be some false charges.
Spike down B.
Yeah, and if you survive the false charges, you just die.
Jesus.
So that's kind of upsetting.
Andrew's ex-girlfriends coming out in support of him seemed to be a trend, as on the 2nd of January, another one of his exes released a video expressing her thoughts on Andrew's predicament.
That is absolutely false. I have lived with Andrew for years and years, and he would never do anything like this, ever. He is not a human trafficker. He would never anybody, and he would certainly never ever human traffic anyone either, including his brother. They would never do such thing. I am just so shocked, and I'm so fed up with all of these lies.
The response from his ex-girlfriends could be seen as critical in helping Andrew's case, since they would have been in a similar situation as the alleged. And with all that said, we are still left with one question. Where is Andrew? As of this upload, the Tate brothers are still in police custody. However, on the 9th of January 2023, one of them would be taken to the hospital to receive routine treatment due to a medical condition. The Tates tried to get out of prison on the basis that they had kids to look after, but were promptly denied their freedom. What do you think about this controversial situation?
Yeah, the Matrix is trying to frame me, but God knows the truth. There's no evidence in my file because I've done nothing wrong. Everybody knows I'm innocent.
Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have claimed there is no evidence against them, as they remain detained in Romania. The controversial social media personalities appeared handcuffed together outside Romania's anti-organised crime agency, as they faced more questioning.
The story you should be covering is what evidence is there against Tristan Tate? There is none. That should be the story on the news.
Prosecutors carried out forensic searches of seized items from the brothers on Wednesday, as they looked for further evidence in the case. The pair were initially arrested along with 2 Romanian citizens in December on charges including human trafficking, rape, and exploitation of women. Andrew and Tristan Tate will remain in detention until late February, after judge granted prosecutors a request to extend their detention by 30 days. Whilst the police build their case, it's likely the Tate brothers will continue to claim their innocence.
They know we've done nothing wrong.
Andrew, is the mate?
Of course it's unjust. There's no justice in Romania, unfortunately.
But Tate has previously admitted to running a webcam business, hiring 75 models, 50% of who were his girlfriends at the time. It's unclear if this is linked to his trafficking arrest.
Existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged. The Matrix is trying to control your mind.
They're trying to control you. They're trying to dampen your life force.
I always knew that the Matrix existed.
The Matrix is real. I've literally escaped the Matrix in nearly everything. A false reality is being projected onto humanity, and they do that by controlling narrative.
मैट्रिक्स 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 ये शब्द 1999 के बाद से अब जाकर इतना पॉपुलर हुआ होगा जब एंड्रू टेट ने इसको बोलना शुरू किया है। मेरे ख्याल से तो ये 1999 के टाइम पे भी ये वर्ड लोगों के बीच इतना पॉपुलर नहीं हुआ होगा जितना अब जाके हुआ है। और आज की वीडियो हम यही देखने वाले हैं कि एंड्रू टेट जिस मैट्रिक्स के बारे में बात करता है वो मैट्रिक्स आखिर है क्या। सो लेट्स बिगिन द वीडियो। अब देखो, मैट्रिक्स का कॉन्सेप्ट समझना बहुत आसान भी है बट एट द सेम टाइम काफ़ी कॉम्प्लेक्स भी है। अब जब एंड्रू टेट ने सबसे पहले मैट्रिक्स बोलना शुरू किया तो बहुत से लोगों को समझ ही नहीं आया कि ये क्या बोल रहा है। धीरे धीरे कुछ लोगों को समझ में आया और जिन लोगों को समझ में नहीं आया वो लोग वही करने लगे जो अक्सर लोग करते हैं, मजाक बनाना। और आज हम इस वीडियो में अच्छे से समझने वाले हैं कि आखिर ये मैट्रिक्स है क्या, क्योंकि बिना समझे किसी चीज़ का मजाक उड़ाना इज वीक एंड दिस चैनल इज नॉट फॉर वीक। मैट्रिक्स एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो लिटरली बहुत लोगों ने पढ़ी भी है लेकिन फिर भी उन्हें ध्यान नहीं है। तो अगर आपको 12th में याद हो और अगर आपकी मैथ्स थी तो आपको पता होगा वहाँ एक चैप्टर था मैट्रिक्स। अगर याद दिलाऊं तो ऐसा सब कुछ जिसमें ऐसा कुछ करा करते थे, और उस चैप्टर में साफ मेंशन था कि आखिर मैट्रिक्स होती क्या है। Matrix is a set of numbers arranged in a form of rows and columns so as to form a rectangular array। मतलब बहुत से numbers और elements को rows और column के फॉर्म में एक डब्बे के अंदर एक प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट से रख देना, जिससे कोई भी नंबर और एलिमेंट उस रेक्टेंगुलर डब्बे से बाहर ना जा पाए। अब इसको सीधा सोसाइटी के फॉर्म में ले लो। ये कुछ फ्री लोग थे और इनका एक फ्री माइंड था। इन सभी लोगों को एक सिस्टम के अंदर रख दिया गया जिससे सोसाइटी का एक प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट बन सके और जैसे एक सोसाइटी को चलना चाहिए वैसे उसे चलाया जा सके। और सेम लाइक मैथ्स, कोई भी आदमी इस डब्बे, रेक्टेंगल ये सिस्टम से बाहर ना निकल पाए। अब ये सुन के तुम बोलोगे नहीं, मैं तो एक आज़ाद आदमी हूँ और एक आज़ाद कंट्री में रहता हूँ। तो अगर तुम आज़ाद हो तो तुम स्कूल क्यों जाते हो, जबकि तुम्हें कहीं ना कहीं पता है कि इससे क्या ही फ़ायदा होगा। अगर तुम आज़ाद हो तो तुम कॉलेज क्यों जाते हो, जबकि तुम्हें पता है ये सब तो मैं यूट्यूब से ही पढ़ लूँगा। अब मैं ये नहीं कह रहा तुम स्कूल मत जाओ, कॉलेज मत जाओ, मगर तुम्हें ये सब करना ही पड़ेगा, चाहे तुम चाहो या ना चाहो। तुम्हें स्कूल जाना ही पड़ेगा जिससे तुम कॉलेज जा सको, तुम्हें कॉलेज जाना ही पड़ेगा जिससे तुमको डिग्री मिल सके, तुम्हें डिग्री मिलनी ही पड़ेगी जिससे तुमको जॉब मिल सके, और तुम्हें जॉब करनी ही पड़ेगी जिससे तुम सरवाइव कर सको और टैक्स भर सको। ये सब सुन के तुम्हें ऐसा नहीं लगता कि ये पूरा सिस्टम है जिसके अंदर तुम्हें रखा गया है और इस सिस्टम के अकॉर्डिंग ही तुम्हें काम करना है। अब ये सिर्फ तुम्हें ही नहीं करना, ये तुम्हारे आसपास के सभी लोगों को करना है। तुम्हारे दोस्त, तुम्हारे भाई, तुम्हारी बहन, तुम्हारे कजन्स, सबको करना है। और अभी मैथ्स में मैट्रिक्स क्या था, सभी एलिमेंट्स को एक रो और कॉलम के फॉर्म में अरेंज कर दो जिससे वो एक रेक्टेंगुलर बॉक्स के अंदर आ जाए। तो क्या ये सेम चीज यहाँ नहीं हो रही? तो सिंपली यही वो मैट्रिक्स है जिसके बारे में एंड्रयू टेट बात कर रहा है।
Remember, all I am offering is the truth, nothing more.
अब तुम बोलोगे कि अगर कोई इस डब्बे या सिस्टम से बाहर निकल जाए तो क्या होगा? तो मैथ्स में क्या होता था? अगर तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन कुछ ऐसा बन जाएगा
करो, ये
तो
चिंकी
क्या
मादर
होगा?
चौदह को पैसा जाता है,
पूरा क्वेश्चन गलत हो जाएगा। एंड सेम चीज यहाँ भी है, अगर कोई आदमी सिस्टम से बाहर निकल जाए तो सिस्टम को कंट्रोल करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा, और फिर अगर वो आदमी और लोगों को भी सिस्टम से बाहर निकलने के लिए बोले तो सोसाइटी कैसे कंट्रोल होगी? और फिर एक ही ऑप्शन बचता है, अभी मैट्रिक्स इतनी स्ट्रांगली बनाई गई है कि अगर तुम इसके बारे में, इससे बाहर निकलने के बारे में या इससे खिलाफ बात करते हो तो तुम्हारे आसपास के लोग तुम्हें पागल समझने लगेंगे और तुम्हें ये सुनने को मिलेगा भाई इसमें गलत क्या है, ऐसी ही तो दुनिया चलती है और अब हम क्या ही कर सकते हैं। अब ये लोग ऐसा इसलिए कह रहे हैं क्योंकि ये सभी लोग तुम्हारे साथ ही इस डिब्बे या सिस्टम में हैं। फर्क सिर्फ इतना है, तुम्हें थोड़ा ऑब्जर्व करके, ये वीडियो देख के, ये एंड्रयू टेट की बातें सुन के ये पता चल गया है कि हाँ भाई कुछ तो गलत है। मगर ये तुम्हें कैसे पता चल रहा है? क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग मतलब दिमाग का यूज करके, राइट? अब तुम्हें क्या लगता है टिकटॉक, इंस्टाग्राम, रील्स या शॉर्ट्स देखकर तुम क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग कर सकते हो? नो, इट्स प्रैक्टिकली इम्पॉसिबल। और अगर तुम ये सब देख के क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग कर पा रहे हो तो फिर तो मेरे पास शब्द ही खत्म है।
The Matrix is trying to control your mind. They're very good at it.
और यही वो चीज है जिसकी
लोग
वजह से
राफ्टर्स में है
तुमको
भाई,
सुनने को मिलेगा
ऊपर
भाई
ऊपर
सही तो है,
राफ्टर्स।
क्या गलत है? सब सही तो चल रहा है। तुमको मेरे ऊपर यकीन ना हो तो अपने आसपास के लोगों को देख लेना। एक नोटिफिकेशन आता है, एक झटके में फोन खोल, उनसे कभी पूछना ब्रो बिजनेस मीटिंग, उनका जवाब हमेशा यही रहेगा, नहीं भाई एक नई वीडियो आई है, एक नया पोस्ट आया है, किसी ने फोटो को लाइक किया है, किसी ने फोटो पर कमेंट किया है, गर्लफ्रेंड का मैसेज आया है। और ज्यादातर लोग तुमको दिन भर यही करते हुए दिखेंगे। तो तुम्हें इन्हें देखकर खुद लगता है कि ये लोग क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग करते होंगे। अब ये लोग ऐसा इसलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि इन सभी के पास हैं टूल्स ऑफ मैट्रिक्स। अब ये टूल्स ऑफ मैट्रिक्स वो चीज़ें हैं जिनकी मदद से एक सोसाइटी को कंट्रोल करा जाएगा। अब जब तुम दिन भर यही करते रहोगे, तब तुम दिन भर में क्या ही सोच लोगे, और जो सिस्टम तुम्हारे सामने रखा गया होगा तुम बस उसको फॉलो करते हुए चले जाओगे और बस खत्म। अब ये टूल्स ऑफ मैट्रिक्स कोई नई चीज नहीं है, ये बहुत पहले से थी, बस अब फर्क सिर्फ इतना है कि अब इनका इफेक्ट कुछ ज्यादा हो चुका है। टीवी, रेडियो, कंप्यूटर और भी बहुत कुछ। वैसे अगर टूल्स ऑफ मैट्रिक्स पर एक वीडियो देखनी हो तो कमेंट बॉक्स में जरूर बताना। अब देखो, ये मैट्रिक्स एक पूरा मायाजाल है, ये इल्यूजन है जिसको इतने अच्छे से बुना गया है या बनाया गया है कि सभी लोगों को ये प्रैक्टिकल लगता है और लगता रहेगा, क्योंकि ये एक नहीं, दो नहीं, बल्कि बहुत सी अलग अलग चीजों से मिलकर बनाया गया है। एजुकेशन सिस्टम, न्यूज, इंटरनेट, एडवर्टीजमेंट, कंज्यूमरिज्म, मार्केटिंग और भी बहुत कुछ। तो क्या इस मैट्रिक्स या सिस्टम से बाहर निकला जा सकता है? तो इसका आंसर है हाँ, निकला जा सकता है, मगर इससे बाहर निकलना इतना आसान नहीं है। अब तुम खुद ही देखो, अभी के लोग और तुमसे पहले पता नहीं कितने ही लोग जब इससे बाहर नहीं निकल पाए, तो इससे बाहर निकलना कोई आसान बात तो होगी नहीं, और ना ही कल आके कोई तुम्हें एक प्लान दे देगा जिसको फॉलो करते हुए तुम इससे बाहर निकल जाओगे। इस मैट्रिक्स से तुम सिर्फ खुद ही बाहर निकल सकते हो, बाकी लोग तुम्हारी कुछ ना कुछ हेल्प कर सकते हैं, वो भी अगर सिर्फ तुम चाहो तो। वरना दिन भर ऐसा करना तो बहुत ही आसान। और इसके लिए तुम्हें कुछ क्वालिटीज भी अपने अंदर डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी, जो आज के टाइम पे डेवलप करना और भी मुश्किल हो चुका है। तो कुल मिला के ये मैट्रिक्स एक चक्रव्यूह है जिससे बाहर निकलने के लिए तुम्हें एक रणनीति या स्ट्रेटेजी चाहिए होगी। वैसे अगर आप चाहते हो मैं इस पर एक वीडियो बनाऊं तो आप मेरे को कमेंट बॉक्स पे बता सकते हो। तो मुझे उम्मीद है अब आपको पता चल गया होगा कि वो मैट्रिक्स आखिर क्या है जिसके बारे में एंड्रयू टेट बात करता है। अगर इस वीडियो से 1% भी कुछ नया सीखने को मिला हो तो वीडियो को लाइक जरूर कर देना। एंड नो वन कैन हेल्प द मैन हु डोंट वांट टू हेल्प हिमसेल्फ। सो ऐसी और
So guys, an ex-Romanian prisoner has sent a warning message to Andrew Tate. Now True Geordie has done a full podcast with his ex-prisoner over on his channel, and if you want to watch it, I'll link it in the description.
My main channel was hacked. Now a lot of people told me it was because of Andrew Tate team, because I spoke about Andrew Tate and I saw the last of two things. So they decided to hack me in a very professional way. It was also my mistake. So I don't want to put all the blame on somebody else. I was but if I find out that it was somebody from Andrew Tate's team, let me remind you something. I was in Rahova prison, where Andrew Tate is gonna go. If I make only one phone call, Andrew Tate is gonna be a prisoner. Because I have some friends there who loves to play role play. So Andrew Tate is going to role play. You're gonna go in the perfect location, and you're gonna take the dog position every day in the prison yard. If some of your team broke my chest, I bet my life you're gonna suffer in prison. I'm gonna make sure, because I spent enough time there, and I know at least 50% of the prisoners inside Rahova prison. If somebody from your team did this to me, you're gonna pay.
So, a very direct message, and he's clearly not happy. What we have to remember is Andrew Tate has a lot of money, and money really does talk. That's even if he gets sent down. Right now he's in a detention centre. Do you not think he will use his power and money to pay for the best security in prison? Pay off guards? Should Andrew be worried by this guy? Comment your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, please leave a like, subscribe and turn the notifications on for the fastest updates.
Match found.
So guys, Elon Musk tweeted out, sometimes it's just better to make pizza at home. Now this is referring to the Andrew Tate situation. Everyone's saying he was identified because he ordered a takeout pizza and the authorities knew he was in Romania. We know Andrew Tate uses private jets, but he still has to go through passport control. His address has been posted numerous times on the internet, literally far out shots of his mansion. Romanian police are going to know where he is, and this is an international case. It's obvious every country involved could locate Andrew Tate easily. Elon Musk also posted something about the Matrix the other day. It seems he's indirecting this situation quite a lot. People love the pizza box theory so much because it was a response to Greta Thunberg, and they were saying he ended up getting locked up by trying to diss her. So a lot of people are just running with that on Twitter.
Now you're back on Twitter. You were telling me you left the platform when you were first banned with 88,000 followers. How many do you have after a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I've been back 2 weeks now. I have 2.9 million, I think. So, and
is that down to Elon Musk? Was he the person who let you back on?
Yeah, and Elon is truly a hero of free speech, and he understands we were entering a draconian age of genuine. It was genuinely scary where we were heading, and now I start to feel like there's some hope. We're putting a crack in the matrix and a crack in the dam, and I think a lot of people are fed up with having ideas forced down their throat. But it's important that we stand up and talk about these things because it's happening on every level, even from the World Cup to this pandemic to ignoring the imaginary race card in Netflix documentaries. There are so many people not pointing out obvious things in the world that it's getting pretty scary to live in this false reality. We need people to just stand up and say, no, this is absolute garbage.
Să știi că nu te aud, că...
So guys, as we know, yesterday the Tate brothers was transferred to Dicot HQ again for further investigation on their electronic devices. Well, they've been transferred over again today, and I'm not sure the reason behind this.
Good morning. The story you should be covering is what evidence is there against Tristan Tate? There is none. That should be the story on the news. The police have fabricated the evidence. There's no evidence.
The paper,
Please cover
no
that
victims,
story.
nothing.
There's no
So you need to look into it and find out why they're doing that.
There is none. That should be the story on the news. Police have fabricated the evidence. Please cover that story. There's no victims.
So you need to look into it and find out why they're doing that.
That you beat woman to work for you?
Now I'm not gonna lie, today seems a bit different to yesterday. As yesterday Tristan was a little bit heated, Tristan is still heated today, but I would say Andrew seems a little bit stressed, you know, going through all of this when you know you're not in the wrong must be so destroying. Like Andrew says, it's an empty piece of paper, there is no story. The story you should be covering is what evidence is there against Tristan Tate. So Tristan is clearly angry that the press are literally just bringing everything on him as well. What do you guys think? Comment your thoughts below, like, subscribe, turn on notifications on for more updates.
Controversial influencer and
that address, they were ordering food, they were visiting the town, the mall.
But just because they have the ability to leave and to order food and go shopping, that doesn't mean that they're not being human trafficked.
Last player standing.
It's out after a pretty good while. As you guys know, Tristan and Andrew are still held for 30 days over there in Romania. There's been a lot of things going on over there, such as the hospitalization of Andrew Tate that had been floating around. So there's been a lot of news here. So the lawyer's finally spoken up, and we're gonna do a reaction here and let's see what he has to say.
Lawyer, who we find busy preparing the defense, but also inundated by inquiries from the press.
Now, your client, Andrew Tate, is accused of human trafficking and forming an organized crime group. Is that true? Is that what they've been doing here in Romania?
Our client, my clients, don't recognize the allegations against them, and their positions in front of the prosecutors and in front of the judge were not to recognize these felonies that pretending to be done by them, and they support us as a team of lawyers with all the proofs and evidences is needed to prove their innocency.
The prosecutor is quite a well-established person and would not have brought this case if they didn't have the evidence.
Legally, yes, but we are now in a phase of investigation. It's not a public phase of a trial. And we are not talking in this moment if the defendant is guilty or is not guilty regarding a felony. We are now in a phase that the prosecutors didn't finish the investigation. And I think that it's very early to talk about if we have a case or we don't have a strong case. The prosecutor has also the possibility not to send this case in the court to be judged.
The prosecutor says 6 alleged victims were found, all women, at the Tate properties. Now, were these women being held there and exploited?
Spike down mid.
Okay, so as you guys know, on my last video, I had spoken that 6 women came out and spoke about coming out, claiming that they were held against their will over there at the Tate mansion and were forced to do provocative acts
our chance.
over there. I saw a couple videos saying that he would hold their passports. That was completely misinformation. He wasn't holding anybody's passports. Everybody was free to go. He would fire a lot of the women. Okay, a lot of women came and went. He had 75 women under his belt. Of course, there's going to be plenty of women out there that are come out there and say false allegations for money. If you know the story of Samson, Delilah betrayed Samson for money. And we see that plenty of times. These types of women that are highly hypergamous will easily sell out anybody for a bag, you know? And they get that Cardi B bad bitch mentality from modern day society.
From our point of view and from the position explained by our client, I would say and as argument to my position is the fact that when the investigator came in the house of our client, the door was open. All the girls had access to their own phone number, cellular data. If somebody is kept in a house against his will and he has his phone and he has the possibility to post on social media, on Instagram, to make TikTok content, to talk to the phone, has the same possibility to call 112.
Or to just leave the house.
Or to just leave the house. Because we have the evidences by the cameras from the house that the girls were alone in the house, that they demand food at
So yeah, these chicks were staying there. They were eating his food. They were drinking his alcohol. They were partying over there. They would go to the mall. They go out. They were all friends with each other. These were the type of chicks that were over there at the Tate household. Completely normal. They were free to go. They weren't held against their will in any way, shape, or form. That's where he's coming from in his statement. Of course, these girls, there's proof on the cameras. Remember the last, the big allegation that happened with that last chick that was claiming that she was being held against her will. Her boyfriend called the U.S. ambassadors. They came in and raided the Tate house. And they had surveillance footage of her going out there getting an Uber's Eats, man, some pizza. She went out there to get some fucking pizza and then came back in and started partying with the girls, man. So, again, it's a trickling lie, and that's what happened the first time around. And again, these chicks do allegations all the time. So, let's take it to court. You know, they probably have some kind of evidence to try to get him on like some human trafficking stuff. But in my personal opinion, I don't think they have anything. You know, they're gonna try to put him away because of the influence he has, and they've been trying to do that already. So they're gonna take any opportunity they have, and we'll see where that goes. But that's where I stand on that.
That address, they were ordering food, they were visiting the town, the mall.
But just because they have the ability to leave and to order food and go shopping, that doesn't mean that they're not being human trafficked.
Okay, listen to what he just said. Okay, well, just because they're going to the mall, just because they're partying, just because they're free to go whenever they want to go, doesn't mean they're being humanly trafficked, right? No way.
According to some experts, Andrew Tate employs the lover boy method, which is to make the women fall in love with them, make them feel under his control, to handle all of the finances and make them dependent on him. Is it true that Andrew Tate has been employing the lover boy technique, which, technically speaking, is human trafficking?
It's a pity that at this moment, legally speaking, because the investigation is not public, I am not allowed by the law to give more details. But I will give you that this lover boy method is not sustained by the evidences, and we have contrary evidences. And I am wondering, were all the girls so in love with Andrew Tate that all of the girls had their brain washed by this method of lover boy?
But as his lawyer,
Okay. So even the lawyer is saying, like, okay, remember, 75 women fully employed by Andrew Tate. You really think, like, I mean, Andrew Tate's awesome, you know, he's really good at his game, don't get me wrong, he's rich, etc. But can you really actually believe this guy made 75 women fall in love with him? Full on head over heels, and according to this guy, he said, well, the lover boy method is technically human trafficking. Okay, well, the Tinder swindler, he didn't get charged with human trafficking. I would argue that the Tinder swindler actually put the lover boy method into play to its perfection. You know, that guy literally had a whole pyramid scam of women that were paying him money. So if you're gonna say the lover boy method is human trafficking, that's your idea? Okay, he did the lover boy method, therefore human trafficking. That's what that equals. This is ludicrous. That's unbelievably ridiculous. But of course, some experts, which we don't know who the experts are. Is it fucking, I don't know. Is it Hugh Hefner? Did they do the Ouija board, put him back from the dead, and asked him? He's the only expert from the top of my head that would do the lover boy, you know? And he was like fucking 90 years old, man. But anyways, let's move on here. This guy's being ridiculous, of course.
Are you aware of the numerous bits of video evidence that are out there on YouTube and elsewhere, where your client talks very explicitly about how he controls the women who work for him? It's very clear from the public record that he's already talked about the lover boy technique and how to control and manipulate these women.
I don't know by heart all the videos of Andrew Tate. We are now in a phase that we have to prepare other type of defendings for our clients. But I wondering myself, are you talking about the real Andrew Tate on those videos, or are you talking about a character? Because from my point of view, as you know,
a character.
Nowadays, a lot of people are posting content on internet just to sell an image, a character. I am not sure that we are talking about the real person, Andrew Tate.
In previous videos, we've seen your client Andrew Tate boasting of being able to pay off the Romanian.
Okay, so what he's saying there is he's saying that Andrew Tate, he believes Andrew Tate does some kind of character in his videos, which honestly, I mean, this isn't the first time that I've heard that. I think a lot of even like Andrew Tate haters say there's no way this guy is that dude, right? Yeah, he's playing some kind of over-exaggerated character, which is true, actually, to be honest. Even people that are close to him, like Fresh and Fit, have admitted the way he goes about his over-exaggeration is a bit of a character. We know that. It's not anything that's a secret, you know? Of course, we've had even other people like Patrick Bet-Davis, who stated that they asked him, is this guy the same on camera as he is off camera? And his answer was that no, this guy is very genuine. I like him more off camera than I do on camera. So he's more or less pretty much the same guy, but I think it's his personality just on another level of over exaggeration, I guess you could say, and that's where I believe the lawyer is coming at it from that angle.
Criminal justice system. So is that the intention for Andrew Tate now that he's actually, in jail? Is he going to try to buy off the Romanian criminal justice system?
For sure, no. As a lawyer, I can say a big no. A big no.
He's going to have to go through...
And I don't want to answer, to comment anymore, because I don't know the statement of my client, this declaration of my client, and...
But again, you might think that that's just him playing a character.
Exactly.
It is possible. It is possible.
When your client was arrested, he said very enigmatically, the Matrix has sent their agents to get me. The Matrix has attacked me. Can you explain what he means by that?
I also don't know. I heard...
Okay, this is an example of the news media kind of covering up and making Andrew look like he's crazy because he's calling out the globalists, the NWO, the deep state, the what you guys and many others that follow Andrew Tate refer to as the Matrix.
The story of Matrix, but I don't know, I have a serious profession and I didn't ask my client about this Matrix story because I think that is about something on media platforms or internet platforms, and I don't know about this story with Matrix.
He thinks there is a global system that includes big tech and governments and so on,
crazy,
that
right?
is trying to control and inhibit the way pretty much everyone lives, and that he has been targeted by them. Some people might even call it the deep state, if you like. He has been targeted by them because he is trying to emancipate young men. Now, do you believe that as his lawyer?
I don't believe that. And I think that if you are talking about my client beliefs, you should ask him at the proper time about this matter. This matter, it doesn't have to do anything with my activity as lawyer.
Just a final question then. I know you visit your client perhaps twice a day sometimes. How is Mr. Tate doing?
He's not very well. He's disappointed, but he is willing to resist and to help the investigators to find the truth, to present all the evidences that he has in his favor, and he hopes that he will take part, it will take part of a fair trial.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it right there. You have Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate's lawyer. That last question about Andrew Tate believing that the Matrix is after him and everything like that. I spoke about that in the last video, and he claimed that it's because he's basically empowering young men and boys. And the truth is yeah, because the thing is, the Matrix, whatever you want to call them, if you're a man that is there for transitioning little kids, if you're a man that wants drag queen story hour to happen, if you're a person that believes that you and your wife should go 50-50 and the partnership is equal in every way, shape, or form, if you're a guy that believes transgender women are the same as regular women and they should be playing sports, if you believe that women should go out there, get a bag, be CEO, and neglect the nuclear family and not raise children, and just be a 40-year-old woman with cats and be single and listen to Beyonce, then you are an example of man that's weakening men. And so the Matrix doesn't go after those guys because they're doing exactly what they're programmed to do. But Andrew isn't following the program. Andrew is saying the exact opposite, and he's actually calling out this propaganda machine. He's calling out the propaganda machine. He's shaking the cages of people that run this certain country a certain way, with the companies, with BlackRock, a lot of these deep state elites, and he's shaking those cages. And this is why he's being targeted. And this is why they want to get him in jail. They don't want this guy to be around anymore. He's a big threat, similar to Alex Jones. They can't afford him as well, and they did go after him financially. So I did go into great detail about that in one of my videos of Andrew Tate's The Greatest, I believe, Greatest Troll of the Matrix, something like that. You can find it on my channel. Anyways, that's all I got for you right now. The lawyer spoke out finally. He had a lot of interesting things to say of what's the upcoming news of Andrew Tate and his brother, and we'll see where it goes. Anyways, like, subscribe. If you made it to the end of this video, I know this ran a little kind of lengthy. Let me know, man. Let me know.
You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to. That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this planet.
That's a voice recording influencer Andrew Tate allegedly sent a woman in 2015. That audio, along with disturbing messages reading, quote, "I loved raping you," are now coming to light as Tate faces sex trafficking charges overseas.
Here.
Vice World News published the messages and voice notes allegedly made by Tate. We want to warn you,
No
they
charges
may be
left.
disturbing to some.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I f***ing loved how much you hated it. Turn me on.
Tate, known worldwide for his millions of Twitter followers and controversial beliefs, recently made headlines with his arrest in Romania. He's now being held on charges of organized crime, human trafficking, and rape. Just this week, he was denied release from detention, and from here, prosecutors can request Tate's detention be upped from 30 days to 180 days behind bars. But this
Enemy
isn't Tate's
removed.
first tangle with the law. Back in 2011, he was arrested in the United Kingdom after his accuser provided investigators with this voice recording and violent WhatsApp messages.
Guys out!
One enemy
Are you
remaining.
seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't f***ing pass out. Chill the f*** out. Jesus Christ, I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
The accuser included the message "I love you." Tate was arrested on suspicion of sexual assault and physical abuse after two separate accusers came forward.
Reloading.
In 2019, prosecutors dropped that case.
Reloading.
And if I had actually
On
hurt
my
anybody, the Romanian police would have me in jail.
Tate was arrested in Romania in late December as part of a sex trafficking probe. On Thursday, 7 of his houses were searched by authorities. A spokesperson for the Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism said the search took place, quote, in order to obtain further evidence. Investigators say Tate, his brother, and 2 women coerced 6 women physically and mentally. All 4 suspects are now being held in Romanian jail. Reporting for Long Crime Network, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
Watching here. Plant the spike.
Nowhere to run!
Last player standing.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
What do you think of all his stuff?
One enemy remaining.
Right? Like, what really happened, and why is Romania going after him? Are they being pressured by someone else to do this? Like, what is the reason why they're doing it, and what do they have on him? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that to me is the right answer. Nobody knows. A lot of people are acting like they know. If you go read it,
Well, they want him,
which is crazy.
They want him to go down, and they want him. He represents something. He represents toxic masculinity.
Well, he is sort of toxic. I mean, he says crazy stuff.
They seize his car collection as investigation continues.
The one thing I don't get about this, well, I do get, I understand. People are actually want the charges to be true, which is crazy because that would mean a lot of bad shit to happen to a lot of bad people.
Yeah, I would rather the charges be incorrect. Look, Romania, I don't know what their system is like. I don't know whether they're corrupt. I've heard things, but I don't have any real information. So I'd be talking out of my ass. If he really did sex traffic people, if he really did all the things he's saying, well, I hope that gets proven in court, and I hope he gets punished if he really did that. If he didn't do that, I hope he gets exonerated, and I hope he gets the fuck out of Romania. I don't know. I don't know what he did. I know a lot of what he does is theater, right? A lot of what he does is very, satire. He plays the role of this boastful misogynist who smokes cigars and drives Lamborghinis, and that's his thing. And because of that, he's amassed an amazing amount of money. And he's done it by doing this character, this online persona, but then also says very wise things. He says ridiculous shit, but also says really interesting things. He's a very smart guy. If you listen to him being interviewed by Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David interviewed him after he got canceled off of all social media. And Patrick is fantastic. He's really good at letting people talk and talking to everybody. And Patrick is so wealthy and so successful outside of the world of podcasting that he only does it because he's interested in it. And so he's the perfect guy to handle that because he is not afraid to talk to anybody. He'll talk to anybody. And so he had him on for a long-form conversation. They talk for hours, and you get to see this is a very intelligent and calculated guy. You might not agree with his message. You might not agree with all the misogynist stuff. You might not agree with, and I don't agree with it. You might not agree with all the crazy antics, but you cannot deny that that's been incredibly successful because it resonates with a lot of young men who don't feel represented in the media. And they see this guy and it looks like fun. Do they agree with what he's saying? That doesn't mean they agree with it. They think it's fun. It's like pro wrestling. He's like a bad guy in pro wrestling. He's a heel. He's smoking cigars with his Lamborghinis. And
see, that's where I go. I think there's probably a lot of people think that, and then I think there's probably other people who take it seriously, which is where it's a super.
Yes, that is where it gets fucked up. Where it gets fucked up is like young boys repeating the shit that he's saying to young girls because
he says
think that they're supposed to
property
do that.
and he owns them, which is nuts. And so you hope people are like, oh, that's an act. The one thing I will say, for an intelligent guy, which I agree with you, he is, to be doing the things he's being accused of doing and then go seek publicity is a very unwise move.
If he did the things
Correct.
that he did.
Then it's like, why? You would think if you're committing atrocities, you would try to stay under the radar. He does quite the opposite.
Yeah. Again, we don't know.
No, nobody knows.
That's the problem.
That's like the pizza thing, the pizza box. I don't know if you saw that. Everybody saying he got busted because of the pizza box. And then the authorities like, that had nothing to do with it.
No, they knew he was in Romania. It was just, what's that word? Schadenfreude? Schadenfreude. That's what it was. Like, he's making fun of Greta Thunberg, and then he gets fucking arrested right afterwards. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
The way it happens, like people said, it's the biggest like self-owned
third biggest tweet or retweet. It was Greta. I mean, it was okay.
It's kind of funny when she said that's what happens. You don't recycle your pizza
that
boxes.
That was good. That was good.
That shit's hilarious. You got to give it to her. Look, and also, like, why are you going after some 19-year-old autistic girl who's really into climate change?
Like, figure out whether that was provoked. Like, he just did that out of the blue.
Yeah, he's just talking shit.
Now, again, that move from somebody who's being accused of sex trafficking, I think rape was thrown in there. And then you're out there being like, look at me, crazy. Again, but what you said nailed it. Nobody.
I think the latest thing that they're saying is tax evasion, right? Isn't that what they're saying?
I'll be honest with you, I'm Googling them now. I just found an exclusive story on Vice.
Last player standing.
The kickoff of Big Brother is not the reason that was publicly known or what was thought of. It says that he was raped in 2015.
He was investigated over allegations of sexual assault and physical abuse in the UK, during which time he appeared on Big Brother for 5 days.
This just posted a little bit ago.
UK authorities declined to prosecute.
This says that they told the producers of the show like 5 days before he was kicked off, and then a video was found of him and a girl doing something that then they came out and said this was like a kinky video they were making, and everyone thought
the girl came out and said that was very consensual and that they were doing role play and that they liked to do this thing where he would like beat her up or something.
This article is saying that didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
This is one of the perfect.
I don't know.
This is one of the perfect examples, though, of kind of what we're talking about. I don't fucking believe Vice. I don't believe. How can you believe anything that is said about somebody so controversial? Because everybody seemingly has already made up their mind.
Right.
So where to get real information on him? Who knows?
All the objectionable stuff, I think, also wasn't necessary. I think if you want, I mean, I don't know him. If I did know him, I would tell him all the boastful shit and the shit about him being, the top G and all that stuff. All that shit's great. But the misogynistic stuff, like if you have daughters or if you have a wife or if you have sisters, stuff like that, you don't want that. Well, you don't that narrative, like putting that out there, That's negative to everybody. It's not even positive to him. It's like it's not necessary.
We had him on one of our podcasts, and he almost struck me exactly how you said. Like, for, let's say, talking for 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, making sense, smart, and then he says something so over the top. Literally, like, women are my property. Like, I own them. It's like, whoa, what'd you just say? And that's what he does. But he's also selling that class.
What is the class? The Hustlers University. What is that? What do they
like
teach?
To hustle.
But what do they teach? Are they
to hustle?
They can quit at any time they want.
It's like $70 a month,
right?
and you become a top G. That's literally.
I mean, is that bad? I don't know. I mean, is it a con game, or is he trying to give them legitimate information? What is he giving them other than what he's already said in interviews and like what? How is it a university? Like what is?
He has people who, and that's where it's a grayer because
aren't there like professors? Hustlers University. Experience modern wealth creation.
I haven't looked at this. I didn't know this was even real.
Yeah, no, this is what he said. Like a main,
so many grifters.
Main business.
Secure your spot for just $49 is your last chance to secure a spot or a discounted price.
This weird countdown thing is such a
that's hilarious. Oh my
this,
God.
Was it just recycled?
I only have 1 hour, 10 minutes and 36 seconds to sign up.
And that's going to be 147.
Jesus, enroll now, Jamie. You have only an hour before this class. Enroll. Let's enroll. Let's enroll. What do we have to do? Click on that. Enroll now. Okay. What do we have to do? The Real World has launched a completely matrix-independent platform where we teach you how to make money in the digital age. How do they teach you how to make money?
You just hustle, man. You just hustle.
So $600 a year.
It's also another thing, like this matrix thing, which he has. Which again, I am a firm believer, based on my experience. Like people are out to get you. They're out to get you. He also, if he committed these crimes, he's sort of brilliant. Be like, they're coming for me in the next couple days because you know they're coming, and then your followers go, aha, he was right. It's like a self-fulfilling who knows?
Right.
But I will say, he goes too far. Like, and yeah, you'd think rational people be like, whoa, you're crazy. But there's a lot of, and that's where anything's a slippery slope.
He's also a wild dude that lives in the world of kickboxing. And that is a wild group of people. I mean, you pay attention to like top flight kickboxers like the Badr Haris and there's some Melvin Manhoef. There's some wild fucking people in that world. That is a crazy world where there's not a lot of money and you're facing fucking straight up killers. And there's all sorts of different personalities in that world, but it's a different kind of human. They're just wild, masculine, very aggressive people, and that's part of his shtick.
But he, if you want to use the word toxic masculinity, he's it.
The bad stuff that he said embodies that.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why people are rooting for what he said to be true, because they don't want that.
Right. But you're still crazy to root for that because you're not thinking about the victims that would be involved. You're basically, that means a lot of people were hurt.
Well, it means if it's true, you want them to be punished.
Correct.
Like hoping that it's not true when it is true is not good either.
No, but
you know what I'm saying? Like if you're hoping that it's true and it's not true, that's horrible because you are hoping for people to have been victimized. I see what you're saying.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you should never hope violent crimes were committed.
Right. Period. Absolutely. Agreed. Yeah, for sure. But you also hope that he's not accused of these things when it's just because of his bombastic personality and talking shit and getting all this attention, which he clearly has done. You got to wonder how much of it is sat. Like when you talked to Piers Morgan, that was a very interesting conversation because Piers confronted him on all these things, and he did a great job of explaining what he does and why he does it. And it's like the guy went viral in a way that no one has. And so quickly.
Yeah.
In a while, where like my 12-year-old and my 14-year-old were asking me about it.
Yeah, no, he was it.
Yeah, all over TikTok and all over everything. And if you just look at some of those
scary
little
part
clips,
in a weird way. If your 12-year-old and 14-year-old are hearing some of the outrage, like nobody wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even have a TikTok, I think. And he was like the #1 guy on TikTok. Crazy.
I think they probably banned him. Right? I mean, they banned him from everything. They banned him from Facebook. The only thing he's still on is
Elon.
Twitter.
Yeah, Elon brought him back.
Yeah, which, listen, I agree with. I think you should be able... I don't think banning people's the way. I think this exchange with Greta Thunberg is a perfect example of how to counteract that.
Yeah.
Like, she just mocks him, and then he gets arrested, and she has the fucking tweet of the year making fun of his arrest.
Yeah.
And a fucking perfect one-liner. That's what happens if you don't recycle your pizza boxes.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
No,
it's genius. That's why it's good that someone like that is on social media, because you get a chance for people to participate in the conversation.
Select your agent.
They think I'm an old dog? I'll show them just how many tricks I know.
Online influencer Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate.
Never before has this happened in history. He is showing up on my feed non-fucking-stop.
Dude.
So whenever I say something online, I get people who come along and say, I listened to you and my life changed.
Andrew Tate has personally saved my life.
And then you get guys who come along and say, he's lying, he's made it up. I am currently the most famous man on the planet, the most famous brothers on the planet. I'm more popular than I've ever been.
Andrew Tate has been detained in Romania as part of a human trafficking and rape investigation.
I made $64,000.
Over 10K a month. That's what took me to 5K.
I made $12,241 in my first 90 days. In my first 30 days, I made $7,358.
I made $11,500. There's no way, there's absolutely no way that you won't make at the very least, the money back.
If you want to escape the 9-to-5, if you want to be in charge of your own future and your own destiny, let me tell you, you need to join. There is no better place to be than the real world.
I can earn the same amount of money that I previously earned from doing all that weeding out and dabbling in like dirt for an entire month, so like 20 work days. I can now get the same amount of money for like a half day's worth of work.
Last player standing.
I'll burn brighter than their phoenix. Just watch me. Time to work.
Hush! Enemy spotted B.
I'll find you. Reloading. We'll catch them.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Knock me down, I'll get right back up.
the balance in our favor. Enemy spotted.
The hunt begins. Come on, let's go. Dead. Careful now. Reloading. Joke's over. You're dead.
Wall raised.
Last player standing. Last round before the switch.
We cannot keep our goods after this. Spend all.
Even if I knew all their names, I wouldn't say it here because they've already given me quite a few warnings. And I'm now at the point where I actually truly believe they're going to try and kill me.
So you've had messages from people trying to control you who you think would kill you.
I understand that you get 3 strikes in this game. Strike 1 is they try and shut you up and discredit you, which I've just been through. Strike 2 is they try and put you in jail for no reason. And strike 3 is here. And one of my strikes is now gone, and I now firmly believe that they're going to try and kill me because they want me to be quiet. And I have huge amounts of influence, which is what they're scared of. Because influence is what the influence is what the world is about, right? If you send soldiers to a country to die, if you have literally a pitched battle on any country on the planet with tanks and planes and people are dying, that's only to control the ground so you can influence it. Like, all of that is for influence. The media is for influence. What they tell people to believe, the mindsets they want you to adopt, is so they can influence you. So when somebody like me comes along who has a mass amount of influence and it's going in a direction they're contrary to, they sit and go, wow, this is a big problem from one person. And people have car accidents, people get robbed, people get shot. And that's the unfortunate reality of human nature. When you are a very large problem for very powerful people, they look for quick solutions, and the easiest solution is to kill me. And I think it's going to get there if I'm not extremely careful. So yeah, they dislike me not just because of what I say, because everybody knows what I say is true, but because of the huge amount of influence I have, and also the influence I have over the one demographic they're most fearful of, which are the young military-age males. They're the demographic that they need to keep under control the most, because those are the ones who will lead a revolution. Those are the ones who are naturally rebellious. Those are the ones you need to fight in your armies. Those are the ones you need to be the backbone of the slave force and build the roads for a shit wage. Those are the ones you need to sit in a sexless marriage and raise kids while they're depressed and turn off and pay their taxes anyway. That demographic is the backbone of the economy, of the defense of a nation. They're the number one enemy to the state if they decide to get a big group together. Like, I don't want to be pessimistic, I'm accused of enough, but if 100,000 women get in one place and complain, it's inconvenient. If 100,000 men get in one place and complain, it's a revolution. So they're scared of men free thinking, and they're scared of young men free thinking, and my fans are young military-age males, and I teach them to free think. So they look at me and they literally see me as a threat to the world, and that's why I think they're going to try and kill me. I'm as perspicacious as I can be.
What does that mean?
Perspicacious is the ability to perceive. Perceptive.
Right. Yeah.
I'm as perspicacious as I can be, but I'm also very understanding that if they want me, they're going to get me. It's an unfortunate reality. It's very easy to kill people, especially at their level, right? If they want me, they're going to get me. All I'm doing is trying to stay true to myself, stay true to God, because I truly believe this is a battle of good versus evil, and say the things I know need to be said in a way which is respectful enough and important enough, so that the powers that be decide that it's okay if I stay alive. But if they decide the opposite, then there's very little I can do about it. And of course, I have a 10-man security team. Everyone's armed. I carry a weapon, like etc., etc. But if they want you, they're gonna get you. That's the game. So I've had strange offers. Let's put it that way.
Spike planted.
I won't sell my soul. A lot of people do, right?
What does sell your soul mean?
It means that you sign a piece of paper and you shut up for X amount of money or X amount of influence. Completely, but they don't. The way they want to change the world is not the way I will ever allow them to try and change the world. I don't agree with what they're doing. I think what they're doing is anti-humanist. I think what they're doing is truly evil. And I won't sell my soul. They can't convince me to sit and tell the children what they want the children to believe. And normally when you sign a contract and you become a music star or a sports star or whatever, you shut up because you have sponsors, you have money, you can get canceled, etc. You have to be quiet. And I'm not in that position. So they try and get a degree of leverage over you. I've had very strange offers. I had phone numbers appear from nowhere, WhatsApp conversations. I have no idea who this person was or how they got my number, inviting me to very private parties in very private places. I had my own phone calls played back to me. I've answered the phone before, and it's a recording of me on the phone, and that's all it is.
Wow.
And I probably shouldn't say these things on YouTube, but this is the reality of the world I'm not living in. So, yeah, there's things that have happened that have been like, Andrew, you better shut up. That's why they got Socrates. Do you know why Socrates died? He was arrested, and he ended up poisoning himself and killing himself because they were going to execute him. And he was arrested for corrupting the youth because he was convincing the youth to think about not joining the military because the wars were pointless. So corrupting the youth is why Socrates died. If you make the youth think, you're an enemy to the establishment. It's always been the same. At this point, I've now made a decision to stand true to my morals and stand true to God and genuinely be a force of good for the world and genuinely try to make people do good things to other people. And if I'm not going to stop doing that, so if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. It's like being in a plane crash. What can you do?
One enemy remaining.
Plane's going down. What are you going to do about it? You can scream and be a girl about it, but the plane's still going to crash. And that's why I know they want me gone, because I know what happens when you're a powerful person, and someone keeps poking. I know what happens, and I know that not only from this world, I know it from the underworld. I've had a very long and interesting life. In a previous incarnation, I was involved in some shady things. I've been in rooms with people who sit around and say, this guy's a problem.
As in they're talking about you?
Or no, I've been in the room and we're talking about somebody else.
Right.
This guy's a problem.
In another life.
In another life.
Yeah.
And the problem gets fixed. I'm talking about, okay, let's take a hypothetical again. Let's say you have 5 drug dealers in a room and a drug dealer keeps robbing them. What are they going to do? They're going to get robbed forever. You say, no, this is a problem. How do we fix this problem? Well, we've tried to talk to him. He won't talk. He's unreasonable. Okay, then get rid of him. That's business. That's life, right?
Well, it's not business.
It's that business. Yeah. But, and I'm saying that even from the bottom levels of the socioeconomic scale, all the way to the top levels of the socioeconomic scale, there becomes a point where the only solution to the problem is violence. Most people don't understand that the entire world we live in is absolutely or not really violent. I see violence everywhere. If I see a big tree, I don't think, oh wow, that's a big beautiful tree. I sit and go, that tree destroyed every tree anywhere near it. Its root system is 2 miles long. It's been kicking trees' asses for 100 years. That is a badass tree, right? It's a violent tree. And every single thing about civilized society is underpinned on violence. The idea that violence will eventually appear is the only reason any of this works. If I drive through Dubai too fast, the camera will go off and I'll get a speeding ticket. If I ignore the speeding ticket, they'll add money to the speeding ticket. If I don't pay that, they'll send a bailiff. If I tell him to get fucked, they'll send the police. If I tell them to get fucked, they'll arrest me. If I refuse, violence. It doesn't matter what law, what tax code, what anything you can think of. If you disobey long enough, it comes back to the bottom line. The bottom line is always violence. So if you talk to somebody and they don't listen, if you try and reason with somebody, they won't listen. You try and bribe someone, they won't take it. It gets to a point where there's one answer left. Well, then teach them a lesson. So that's one reason I know that my conclusions are accurate. But the other reason I know my conclusions are accurate is because when you make a conclusion or you come to build a mental model in your mind, the idea of having it is to be able to predict the future. There's no point in constructing a mental model that doesn't allow you to predict the future. If I pick this bottle up, I know if I drop it, if I let go, it's going to fall. because every other time I did that, it fell, right?
Where are
My mind has told me if you drop things, if you let go of them, they're going to fall to the ground. It allows me to predict the future. If I couldn't predict the future with my mental model, if my mental model believes something else, then I'd make a bunch of mistakes. I've predicted the future completely and utterly accurately my entire life. I know that I'm right because the way I think allows me to be correct in every scenario I've ever been in. I know when someone's going to hurt me. I know when my time's almost up. I know how to make a bunch of money. I know all of it. I've never been wrong about anything. So for someone to come along and try and convince me that my mental model and my way of viewing the world is inaccurate, it's going to be extremely difficult because I'm going to sit and say, well, my mental model produces X to this accuracy, and you're a dumbass.
Planted.
So what can you predict? I knew because of the orchestration of the attacks. The attacks were exceptionally well orchestrated, and there's no such thing as coincidence in my world. Like I said, my mental model allows me to predict the future, and if I believed in coincidence, then I would have been surprised when I was canceled. But I don't believe in coincidence because I've learned that is never true. So every single day I get a report from my staff that analyzes all social medias and news outlets because it's our job. Where I am, what's being said about me, how many comments are positive, how many comments are negative, percentages, etc. I get a report daily. Yeah. I got that report. Looked pretty good.
Enemy remaining.
Pretty easy. Went to sleep. Woke up the next day.
Standing.
150 different news publications with the same version of the story. I'm misogynistic. With basically the same words, slightly rewritten. In absolute sync. Is that coincidence? How can 150 from New Zealand and Australia to Norway to America all decide the same day to write the same version of the same story? Then, 3 days later, 35 prominent LGBT influencers did an Instagram post with the same picture and the same wording saying that I'm dangerous to the world. In perfect sync, within the same 6 minutes. Post. Algorithms hyping it up, getting it millions and millions of likes and views and comments. This was an orchestrated attack. So once I understood the attack was orchestrated by someone powerful enough to affect the world's news, I understood the chance of me not being deleted is now zero. It's a matter of time. So I wrote a comment, I wrote a post saying that there's a lot of attention on me right now. As God's soldier, I'm going to turn negativity into positivity. Every like this post gets, I'm going to donate money to charity. That was my post. Put that up. News articles all around the world completely ignored it, even though I'd pledged $3 billion to charity in front of everybody. Completely ignored all of it. No, only negative news about Andrew right now. And there was orchestrated attacks, one after another. Boom, 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 boom. To the day I was first removed from Facebook and Instagram was the initial ban. And from there, it was dominoes effect. If you take a selfie with me and put it on Instagram, they'll delete it. They're trying to.
They'll warn you.
They'll try.
I've seen the warnings.
Yeah, they will. Yeah. They'll try to unperson me. They want me to disappear from public consciousness. And this is my exact point. I am the first person they've attempted to do this to, where they have genuinely failed. I'm more famous now than I was before the ban. They have failed. What happens is if you shoot somebody with your weapon and he doesn't die, you find a new weapon. This all goes back to what I was saying earlier. I know what they're thinking. I can sit and I have a network of thousands of people around the world. I like I said earlier, I have a very competent network inside the war room. I'm massively influential. I can sit and talk on other people's podcasts. I can fly around the world to end up at the right place at the right time. I have all of the youth's energy behind me. If you're a normal person saying, they're making me take an injection I don't want to take, this is bullshit, and they delete your Facebook, who the fuck are you going to talk to? You're going to go stand on the corner and yell at passerbys? People have tried that too. That doesn't work. Once they silence you, you're done. Thousands of people are being silenced every day because what did I say earlier about the Matrix? They want to tell one side of the story and they have to delete the opposite side to create a false version of reality. That's how the Matrix works. So cancel culture is super real. Yeah. You just don't hear about the people who are canceled. It's survivorship bias. This is the reason why you don't believe in cancelship. In World War II, the planes that were coming back with bullet holes from the AA, the RAF said we need to put more armor where the planes are getting hit most often. Where the most bullet holes are, we need more armor. Makes sense, right? And then some very smart person said, no, the places that are getting hit so often and the planes still getting home are the places it's okay to get hit. The places where we never see a plane get hit and still make it home, where there's no bullet holes, is where we need the armor. Because every time a plane gets hit there, they never make it back. It's survivorship bias. So
we don't know what we don't know. We don't see what we don't see.
Correct.
Yeah.
We don't know about the people who are canceled because that's the point of cancellation.
Yeah.
We don't know how many thousands of people are being rejected from speaking and how many democratic voices are silenced in real time. That's the whole point of it. You know about me, but you don't know about the 10,000 already happened to by 8 p.m. today. It happens every single day. And that's how they keep controlling the narrative. I know the secrets of the universe and how to escape the matrix. I'm trying to make sure that most people know those things. That's why I teach at Tate.com, because the more people that escape, the more soldiers I have on my side against the enemy. I'm very self-critical and self-analytical. I actually want to give a longer answer for this one.
Do it.
Good. I'm never wrong, ever. Because all the times I was wrong, I have punished myself severely. Most humans don't do that. So I can't think of anything I've been wrong about in the last 12 months. It's been years and years and years since I got a call wrong. Like I said, my mental model is designed at predicting the future flawlessly. Most people are happy to be wrong and they don't even apologize to the world or punish themselves for it. There are people out there who are shouting at other people in the supermarket to wear a mask, shouting at other humans, you better wear one. Now must have realized by now that it's still here, nobody needs a mask, everything's fine, and you were psyoped and tricked by the media. They, as an honorable adult, should stand up and say, I am sorry. They should do a public post on all their social media. I am sorry I believed the lies. I am sorry I helped purport the enslavement of mankind. I'm sorry I shouted at fellow members of the human race. I am sorry I was a tool of the Matrix in its enslavement of man. I am sorry. They don't. You know what's funny? It doesn't even cross their minds. Not only they're not sorry, they don't even think about it. I was so wrong to the point that I'm running my mouth screaming at people. And now I realized I'm wrong, but oops, oh well, Slava Ukraine. Dummies. The reason I'm never wrong is because I punish myself for being wrong. The reason people are wrong all the time is because they don't even know when they're wrong. And once they get told they're wrong, they're like, oh, only human. I'm allowed to make mistakes and yell at people in the supermarket like a fucking dumbass for no reason. That's the majority of the human race. I haven't seen any apologies on Facebook from all these people who were pro-fucking and pro-mask. Have you? I haven't seen a single fucking sorry from any of the people who were totally wrong. None. No wonder they're all fucking dummies. Dumb cunts. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word. Dumb fucks. All of them. And that's why they're going to continue to be wrong into eternity, because they don't punish themselves. I punish myself. If I ever got anything wrong, I would punish myself. If I was wrong about COVID on the scale that most of these people were wrong, I'd be too ashamed to show my face to the rest of the human time. If I was sitting on podcasts purporting the enslavement of man to the level these people have been doing it, I would be too ashamed to walk Earth ever again. I would be apologizing profusely for all of my waking years. I would never shut up about how sorry I was for being fucking psyoped. These people do not feel an ounce of guilt, not a single ounce of guilt, because they are godless. If they believed in God, they'd understand what they have done wrong, and they would feel true moral guilt, because God put morality inside of all of us. They're godless creatures. They don't feel a fucking ounce of shame, none of them. I'll bet you $100 million what they're gonna do, because they won't ever fucking learn, because they don't self-analyze. That's why I can sit here and say, I haven't been wrong about anything in the last 12 months, because I am never fucking wrong. Because I've trained myself to not be wrong. I am also living in a reality where I'm not allowed to be wrong. If I made mistakes, I would be dead.